So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Fancy seeing you here. We're going to continue the theme of Zerg vs. Terran replay analysis. We're looking at mistakes with consequences. And while looking at these mistakes, while looking at these consequences, we're keeping in mind the path to victory. We're never losing sight of the fact that we are confident players. We are capable of winning the game. We are kind of, dwelling a little bit on the negatives and the mistakes and consequences, but we're also thinking about, how we can win in the same situation next time. How we can take this knowledge and apply it to future games and crush our Terran opponents and make all their structures burn and their SCVs explode. Okay, so basically here we're just droning, we're going to send this Overlord out to scout his expansion. I'm going to open with my 14 pool as per usual. I stand by it 100%. I will never change it, not in Heart of the Swarm. I will never hatch first in a ZvT, ever! Glad I got that hatchery up in time. So my opponent this game is going for a Reaper expand. Not as aggressive as my previous opponent. But nevertheless, a little bit of pressure from him. Will he get a second Reaper? Nope, just one. So me, I'm just going to scout around with my initial lings. Still going to build an additional two sets of lings back at home. Overlord, one drone should be taking that gas pretty soon. Lings here ready to deal with the Reaper. Should not lose any. Oh, I lost a ling. Shouldn't even lose a ling to this with how safe my build is. First inject rallied into that gas, just powering workers. Overlords in the 30s. Want to get two. Ooh, beautiful. That's that macro. That's that good macro. It's going to let me use all this larva. Could maybe deny that scout a bit better. I'm not too worried. All looking good. Still no expansion. Oh, he built it in the main, so that's fine. Pretty standard on both sides. Just powering to full 2-base saturation here. Again, I'm not sure why I'm not rallying these Overlords out. Like, I should have Overlords here, maybe over here. This one's good, but could even have one down here. I like to be a little more out on the map with my Overlords against Terran. Nevertheless, we've reached, at least when these drones finish, that full 2-base saturation, at least on the minerals. That's going to be our cue to take some additional gas without going under 16, notice. And our lair. And our lair. Maybe I just want to spend all the money on drones that I can first. And our lair. This is the second game in a row. There we go, the lair. A little later than I'm used to. Around the time the lair started, we'll start that wall, that Evo chamber, that Roach Warren. He's coming in for his little bit of pressure. Coincidentally, that's as I'm getting the wall started. Also got these 2 queens and 6 lings. So really, this initial pressure is never going to do anything. One spore in the main, a little early, but it's not cutting into my saturation, so I don't mind. I'd like to have a spore at the front here, too. Gonna get that +1. Yep. Never going under 16 at these bases. Very important. Once you hit that peak mineral saturation, it is absolutely a priority to keep it. So don't do things like fill up your gases when your bases aren't saturated, usually. So far, so good. No real mistakes to speak of. If I lose this queen, yeah, didn't need to lose that queen. So that's a mistake, and the consequence of that is I'm not going to spread the creep as far as I would have liked. Didn't need to lose it either. I had these lings. Roach Horn was getting close to done. Probably could have microed that a bit better. But I digress. No big deal. For getting Overlords, that's gonna be a problem. I should have like 4 or 5 building now so I can get some roaches. There we go, but they're late. And even that is a fairly significant mistake because it's going to delay the taking of my third. With this build, I'm not getting speedlings. I'm not getting a bunch of queens. So I basically take a delayed third with the roaches. But I'm not going to be able to do that. Not for a while. Yeah, finally they're building. It looks like about a 9-minute third, whereas it could have been about 8:30. Look at the income. We're doing good. I am ahead, but we're about even because of the mules. Ooh, double Evo. Greedy. And the roaches are out, so finally going to get that third base up. A little later than usual. Because my base was delayed, I got the Hydra den early, and I built 6 Hydras. Which I like, because I don't want to deal with Banshees and drops. I want to have the Hydras to help out with that. 4 in gas never helps. So here, we got our 6 or 7, 8 Roaches, and we got 6 Hydras. We should have lots of supply. There we go, lots of Overlords. So basically, I can be saturating this third pretty soon. There's no reason that I can see in this game that the third should not be saturated by 11 minutes. So we'll see if we hit that point. I don't mind the Overseers. Maybe one could scout and confirm his tech. Keep it on that side of the map so you can contaminate stuff later. Little things. Map vision would be nice over here. A little over here too. Power and drones for the third. Looks like he's going to be taking a third soon too. Yeah, so we're into that drone production. Oh, okay, we do have a lot of drones for the third. They're a little bit long distance mining. Just a factor of my third being delayed. I'm not too worried about that. Second Evo chamber is late, though. I'd like to be getting the +1 armor started as well as the +2. And into Hydra production before even taking the gases. So in this game, looks like I'm going to be doing a more all-in version. Not going for the Vipers as early. And not even going for the +1 armor. Just going to hit a big Roach-Hydra +2 attack. What's he got going on? Yeah, standard Terran. Lots of extra barracks now that he's on 3 base. And just the kind of bio tank style with a quick 2-2 it looks like. My +2 is going to be finished before his +2. Yeah, we're just building units. Essentially there, on the 4 gas, I used all my gas that I could on Hydras. I just got 1 of the upgrades for the range. And I'm essentially going to go for 1 big push with Roach-Hydra. I'm starting to realize partway into this game, this might not be the best replay for mistakes with consequences. Still a good one to look at, because this type of 2-base timing is really nice. And I definitely recommend Zerg players do big +2, +1 Roach-Hydra timings. But not too many mistakes in this game. It's going fine. Maybe there'll be a mistake in the engagement or something. And again, like we talked about last time, I would like to see this Spore maybe over here, so that when he drops in, you start hitting the medevac. This one's fine, maybe even a bit to the south. And none at the third, that's okay. Yeah, this game's over in a couple seconds, and either I'm going to lose like 150 supply of units, or I'm just going to steamroll them. And it looks to me like a steamroll. But this timing, just so you guys know, about 13 minutes with the +2, well, should be finished. And basically maxed out. That's what you want to be hitting when you're doing Roach-Hydra styles, is something like this. Could be taking those additional gases, getting a bit starved. But this timing is nice. Just a steamroll situation. The engagement's fine. It's pretty much an A move. Like, yeah, these Roaches in the back could be in the front. But this is a win. Yeah, sorry. That was not a mistakes with consequences game. That was just a straight up 2-base, well, 3-base, quote unquote all in. Yeah, just to summarize a little bit about this style, in case some people want to try some Roach-Hydra against Terran. The benchmarks that you're looking for is to saturate your 2 bases fully by 6:45, 7 minutes maybe at the latest. I'd say 7 minutes is a good benchmark for someone just trying it. So whatever build you're going, whatever gasless opening you do with your Roaches, you should be getting to that saturation point by 7 minutes and never losing it, and then saturating your third by 11 minutes. So those are the 2 real key benchmarks. 7 minutes 2-base sat, 11 minutes 3-base sat, and then you're straight up into unit production. So just to beat it to death and explain it even more, You're droning super hard off of your very safe opening early on. You got your queens and lings to defend, and that lets you hit your 2-base saturation really early. You use that 2-base saturation to get some units out, some upgrades, some roaches, some +1, some speed, and you use that to take your third safely. Even get your Hydra Den so that if he goes for Cloak Banshees and drops and shit like that, you have a couple Hydras out, which helps a ton. But basically off of a couple units, 6 to 10 roaches, a couple Hydras, you saturate that third completely by about 11 minutes. Cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. www.tankstarcraft.com, www.allin-academy.com for coaching and content and all that good stuff. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. See if we can find a more relevant replay for the next analysis.